Hi, it's Mr. Preuss with the next video in our college planning video series. This is part 2 of college entrance testing. And the focus of this video is going to be on developing your college entrance testing game plan. For those of you who took the PSAT back in October, when you attended your score report workshop, you were given a handout which outlines how to develop your testing game plan. So we're going to walk through that handout again with a couple of important modifications that have come to light since December. So the main 3 questions involved with developing your game plan are which, when, and how. So first of all, which tests do you intend to take? You may have taken both the pre-ACT and PSAT, so you have experience sitting for both of the 2 different types of college entrance test. Maybe you only took one, maybe you took neither of them. But you're going to need to develop some preference or, some preference based on past experience or perhaps based on experience in the spring of your junior year. You may decide that you want to focus only on the SAT. You may decide you want to take both. Perhaps you need to try them both on again or for the first time. Maybe you're not sure which one you'd perform better on. So you want to take both in the spring of junior year. But that's the first step, is to think through which test you'd want to take. And I've modified the options underneath which tests on this document because the College Board just revealed some major changes to their testing lineup. It might not be as significant to you walking through this for the first time, but for people familiar with the testing industry, these are very big changes. Number one, the SAT subject tests are being discontinued. So the College Board is no longer going to be offering subject tests. These were 1 hour long subject-specific tests that students could take to demonstrate competence in a particular subject area. They were different than what we commonly call the SAT. Generally, they were required by a small set of highly selective schools. And for your class, for the class of 2022, subject tests will not be part of the admissions process. In addition, the College Board also announced that it is discontinuing the essay portion of their SAT. So it used to be you had to decide, do I want to sit for the SAT with the essay or without? Going forward later in the spring into the future, there will be no essay option with the SAT. So for both of those changes, my recommendation would be to let them be. If you had thought about taking a subject test or had thought you'd take the SAT with essay, because they are being discontinued, I don't see how colleges could be requiring them of any applicants. And so I don't see a purpose in needing to take either of those items. So that really leaves you with the question of, do you want to take the SAT without essay or the ACT, either with or without the essay? So again, that's the first thing you have to determine. From there, you want to determine when you'll sit for your tests. On this handout are all the test dates for the spring, for the SAT and the ACT. You can disregard the subject test dates. So think about your spring calendar. Think about other events. For juniors, prom is a big deal, and there have been years where there was a college entrance test scheduled on the morning of prom. So most people wouldn't want to do that. So you want to check your calendar against the testing calendar and choose your test dates so that you'll be able to be focused and prioritizing the events of test day. You also want to think about your calendar in terms of your prep work. So providing yourself adequate time to prepare for your tests. That's another thing to take into account. Another item which is not on this handout, but should be, and again, we're just making this decision in January, is Lake George does plan to offer a school day SAT. So this is not a national test date that you see listed on this document. It'll be in late April, and it'll be an opportunity for you to take the SAT at Lake George High School during the school day, with all of the questions about test centers closing or not being able to administer tests because of COVID concerns. Offering a school day SAT proved to be a really good solution for our current senior class. So we want to offer that opportunity to your class as well. So you'll be hearing more about that. So that would be another opportunity to take the SAT late April. You can work that information into your game plan. So which tests to take, when to take them, and then finally, the third question is, how will you prepare? I know for the PSAT, most students, at least most students at Lake George, do not invest a whole lot of time preparing for the PSAT. They go in cold, they see how they do and use it as a reference point. I do not recommend that you do that for your actual college entrance tests. You want to be true to yourself, maximizing your opportunity to score as well as you can. And so you need a plan to prepare for these tests. And what's on this handout are a number of resources that you can use to test prep, starting with the test agency websites, linking up with Khan Academy for your SAT prep, which we talked about at length at the PSAT workshops. You may choose to buy some hard copy prep books. Amazon, Barnes & Noble are going to give you a lot to choose from. You might choose to invest time and money in a prep class. So you need to really think about who you are as a learner, how disciplined you are to prep on your own versus needing to invest money and time in a structured prep plan. But I'm convinced that prep makes a difference. And again, your test scores are a tool that you're going to use to create opportunity for yourself. And so if you're using a tool, spend some time learning how to use that tool and rehearsing and practicing. Undoubtedly, that'll affect your performance on the actual day of the test. So this document is available to you through the Counseling Center website. It's in the College Planning Resource Packet. Perhaps you still have your copy from your PSAT workshop, but spend some time, involve your parents, develop your testing game plan.